Rihanna hasn't released an album in over 7 years, yet she became a billionaire anyway. Her secret? Turning beauty into a billion-dollar business and outsmarting most CEOs. Let's uncover how Rihanna built her fortune and what she's doing with it. Before she was a billionaire mogul, she was just a girl from Barbados with a dream and a voice that would shake the world. Robin Rihanna Fenty, born on February 20th, 1988 in St. Michael, Barbados. Her childhood wasn't drenched in luxury. It was marked by a troubled home life, her father's addiction, and the weight of growing up fast. Despite everything, music became her escape. She started singing at the age of 7, mimicking reggae legends and American pop stars while dreaming of stages far beyond the island. Everything changed in 2003 when American producer Evan Rogers vacationed in Barbados and heard Rihanna sing. He was stunned. At just 15, she had the voice, the presence, and a raw energy that couldn't be taught. He invited her to the US to record demo tapes, and one of those tapes landed in the hands of Jay-Z, who had just taken over as president of Def Jam Recordings. Jay-Z didn't hesitate. Legend has it, he was so impressed, he refused to let her leave the building without signing a deal. Rihanna officially became a Def Jam artist in 2005, and not long after, her debut, Single Pon de Replay, exploded on the charts. It was a club anthem, and it marked the arrival of a new kind of pop star. Over the next few years, Rihanna evolved. With each album, she shape-shifted. From the innocent island girl of Music of the Sun to the edgy icon of Good Girl Gone Bad, her image and sound matured at lightning speed. The hits kept coming. Umbrella, Rude Boy, Only Girl, In the World, We Found Love. By 2012, she had more #1 singles than any artist of the decade. But while the world danced to her music, Rihanna was paying close attention to the business behind the fame. She learned how contracts were structured, how branding decisions were made, and how artists could end up rich in fame, but poor in ownership. She saw what too many stars ignored, that real wealth didn't come from just performing, but from owning. So while most pop stars stayed in their lane, Rihanna stepped out. She began aligning herself with fashion and beauty, testing the waters with collaborations that hinted at something bigger. That mindset, seeing herself not just as a singer, but as a brand, set the foundation for everything that would follow. By 2017, Rihanna had already conquered music, fashion, and red carpets. But her next move wasn't about another hit single. That year, she teamed up with luxury powerhouse LVMH to launch Fenty Beauty. Most celebrity brands fizzle out, but Rihanna didn't slap her name on a product and hope it sold. The beauty industry had long ignored women with darker skin tones, offering limited shades and making nude a narrow, exclusive idea. Rihanna flipped that on its head. Fenty Beauty launched with 40 foundation shades, a number that was unheard of at the time. For once, women of every skin tone walked into stores and found something that matched them. Within 40 days, Fenty Beauty pulled in over $100 million in sales. It dominated social media, beauty influencers rushed to review it, and customers lined up not just for the products, but for what the brand stood for. And the momentum didn't stop. Fenty Beauty became a global force, expanding into skincare and racking up accolades from both customers and critics. By 2022, the brand had skyrocketed to a nearly $3 billion valuation. Rihanna, owning a 50% stake, saw her net worth soar. With Fenty, Rihanna created a movement, one that turned overlooked consumers into loyal customers, and turned a pop icon into a business mogul worth over $1 billion. After conquering cosmetics, she set her sights on another industry overdue for disruption: lingerie. And once again, she flipped the market on its head. In 2018, she launched Savage X Fenty, and from day one, it was clear this wasn't your typical underwear brand. Sexy wasn't defined by size 0 models or glossy magazine shoots anymore. Rihanna had a new vision, and it was inclusive, raw, and revolutionary. Savage X Fenty put every body on the runway. From plus-size women to trans and non-binary models, no one was left out. Rihanna's shows became cultural events, blending high-energy performances with fearless fashion. While Victoria's Secret was clinging to outdated ideals, Savage X Fenty was throwing a full-on celebration of real people. Savage X Fenty offered everything in a wide range of sizes and tones, all while maintaining affordability and style. In just a few years, Savage X Fenty exploded in value. By 2021, the brand reached a staggering reaching $1 billion valuation. Rihanna held about 30% ownership, which meant another major boost to her growing fortune. But more than the money, it cemented her status as a culture shifter. But Rihanna wasn't done breaking barriers. In 2019, she made history in the world of high fashion, proving she could lead luxury empires. In 2019, Rihanna did what no other black woman had done before. She entered the hallowed halls of high fashion as a boss, partnering with LVMH, the world's largest luxury conglomerate. She launched her own fashion house, Fenty. It was a full-scale luxury label, placed alongside the likes of Dior, Givenchy, and Louis Vuitton. For over 160 years, LVMH had never put a black woman at the helm of any of its brands. Rihanna shattered that ceiling without hesitation. But then came COVID-19. The pandemic disrupted everything, and luxury fashion was no exception. In 2021, LVMH and Rihanna agreed to pause the Fenty fashion house. The timing wasn't right, but the impact had already been made. Even when Rihanna stepped out of the spotlight, her music never left it. While she focused on building billion-dollar brands, her songs kept playing everywhere. In clubs, on radio stations, in fashion shows, and especially on streaming platforms. Her voice became timeless, transcending trends and generations. Hits like Umbrella, We Found Love, and Diamonds weren't just nostalgic favorites, they became modern-day classics. And with the rise of platforms like Spotify and Apple Music, her catalog kept pulling in streams by the millions. Month after month, her royalties stacked up quietly in the background. Unlike many artists whose hits fade fast, Rihanna's catalog only grew more valuable with time. Then came 2023. After years away from the stage, she made her long-awaited return at the Super Bowl halftime show. It was a cultural reset. Dressed in all red and pregnant with her second child, she delivered a performance that reminded the world why she was a music icon in the first place. Within hours, her old songs surged up the charts again. Bitch Better Have My Money, Rude Boy, and Only Girl in the World saw a spike in streams. Her catalog exploded in popularity across every platform, earning her a fresh wave of royalties without releasing a single new album. That's the kind of power only a legacy artist holds. Rihanna didn't need a new tour or album to stay relevant. Her old work continued to pay dividends, proving the lasting value of her voice and vision. Even in silence, she was earning. Behind her billion-dollar beauty and fashion empire, her music remained a financial pillar. It's the foundation that started it all, and it's still delivering steady returns. For Rihanna, music was never just art. It was an asset, one that kept giving long after the applause faded. While Rihanna was publicly shaking up beauty, fashion, and music, she was making quiet power moves behind the scenes. Moves that didn't make headlines, but made her millions. Early on, she learned that real wealth was about ownership, so she applied that mindset to her investments, becoming a strategic player in some of the biggest startups before they blew up. One of her smartest plays? Uber. Rihanna was an early investor in the ride-sharing giant before it went public. When Uber hit the stock market, her stake multiplied in value, quietly adding another layer to her growing fortune. But she didn't just chase big names. She backed brands that aligned with her values. She invested in Partake Foods, a black-owned, allergy-friendly snack company founded by a woman of color. Rihanna used her platform and capital to lift voices that weren't being heard in traditional business circles. She also took a stake in Therabody, the wellness tech company behind the wildly popular Theragun. As fitness and self-care surged, so did Therabody's reach, and Rihanna was right there, cashing in on the wellness boom. Her portfolio didn't stop there. She also held shares in Tidal, the streaming platform founded by Jay-Z, and Destry, a Paris-based fashion and accessories brand led by women. Each investment added depth to her empire, connecting music, fashion, wellness, and representation under one strategic vision. With her fortune growing, Rihanna didn't just splurge. She invested in a life of luxury built on peace, privacy, and power. Her real estate choices tell a story of global success grounded in personal purpose. In Beverly Hills, she owns a $21 million estate perched in one of LA's most exclusive neighborhoods. The mansion is everything you'd expect from a billionaire mogul: massive square footage, sweeping views, and the kind of privacy that even A-listers crave. But home will always be Barbados, and Rihanna made sure her roots reflect her rise. She purchased a $22 million beachside villa in her homeland, an architectural gem tucked along the Caribbean coast. Her taste doesn't end at houses. Rihanna's garages are filled with luxury: Lamborghinis, Maybachs, and her signature black SUV. Her jet-set lifestyle takes her from fashion weeks in Paris to business meetings in New York, often on private jets, always on her terms. terms. But Rihanna's empire wasn't just about what she could earn, it was about what she could give. And through the Clara Lionel Foundation, she began changing lives far beyond her own. Rihanna didn't wait until she became a billionaire to give back. Long before her businesses exploded, she was already investing in something deeper. In 2012, she founded the Clara Lionel Foundation, named after her grandparents, with a mission to fight for underserved communities around the world. What started as a heartfelt tribute quickly grew into a global force. From funding education initiatives in Malawi to building emergency response systems in the Caribbean, the foundation has never been about flashy headlines. It's been about quiet, consistent change, filling the gaps where governments and institutions fall short. When hurricanes devastated the islands she called home, Rihanna was one of the first to send relief. When COVID-19 hit, her foundation donated millions for PPE, testing, and support to frontline workers. But the work didn't stop there. She's gone deep into climate justice, especially in vulnerable regions that are hit hardest by rising sea levels and extreme weather. She's funded infrastructure, championed sustainability, and put her influence behind policy. Discussions most celebrities never touch. Rihanna has used her platform not just to donate, but to challenge. She's called out world leaders. She's pressured governments. She's made it clear, being rich isn't enough. You have to do something with it. And she has. From music to makeup, fashion to philanthropy, every chapter in Rihanna's story has been a masterclass in reinvention. And as her empire continues to grow, one thing is clear: she's not done yet. Rihanna's billion-dollar empire wasn't built on luck or overnight fame. It was carved out with vision, grit, and a refusal to be boxed in. From her early days in Barbados to boardrooms with LVMH, every move was intentional. She built households. Fenty Beauty redefined the cosmetics world. Savage X Fenty shook up fashion's stale norms. Her real estate, investments, and philanthropy, all part of a strategy far bigger than just fame. While fans beg for a new album, Rihanna is composing an entirely new playbook. She's showing the world that you don't have to choose between artistry and ownership, that you can dominate charts and equity tables, that you can create, give, and scale all at once. This isn't just a celebrity brand, it's a cultural revolution wrapped in glam and grit. Let us know in the comments, what do you think was the most interesting part? If you found this story interesting, hit that like button, subscribe for more jaw-dropping stories.